Hey guys, my name is Brandon and welcome to or welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you like what you see in here, you're more than welcome to hit the subscribe button so you stay notified every time I upload a new video. Okay, let's get straight on with today's video. Hey everyone and welcome back to Is That Brandon. So in today's video, I'm actually going to be talking about why I am no longer using dating apps. Now, I've never actually made a video like this before, I don't think, because I've always done like skit videos or videos of, my friends going on my Tinder account or, talking about an experience of someone I met on Snapchat, for example, or I've done videos like that in the past. But I think as of now, like, I'm 26, for me the focus is to just make content, work hard, earn money, have good networks, have good friends, and that'll obviously be, I think that'll be a separate video that I do in terms of like talking about some of the people I've got in my life, not by name, but just by character and personality. But I think for me now, obviously I do want to find someone. I'd rather not be alone my whole life, but I think I would rather let someone come to me, because I go to a lot of places as it is. I go to a lot of events, I go to a lot of meetups. Obviously there's loads of events coming up this year. You've got London Pride, you've got I think Brighton Pride, there's a couple of birthdays, barbecues and things like that. So I am going to be in contact with a lot of people. I will be meeting a lot of people, but I don't want to force anything. And I think even, having moved down to kind of this side of the world, I have met a lot of people who are curious or who are not interested in guys but would be open to it and kind of thing. So I've started having those more open conversations with people in like a real life setting as opposed to just online. So I'm basically just going to talk about some of the reasons why I don't use dating apps anymore. I think for me, firstly, number one, just before I even read any of my notes, I think for me it kind of just shows a sense of desperation. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm sure there are lots of people who use dating apps, that use, all these kind of apps where you can meet like-minded people and you can genuinely find love, like you can genuinely get married, you can genuinely find the love of your life and things like that. But the way I see that, it's kind of like the lottery. It's pretty much impossible, but if you're lucky, you are damn lucky. So I think it's the same with the lottery, that there's never going to be someone maybe that has won X amount of £1,000,000, but there will be someone out there who has won that, and that will obviously change their life. The same with dating, like with dating apps, you'll get a few nice people, a few nice dates, which I've done. I've had a fair share of dates, but yeah, unless you're looking for the one, dating apps is not the way to go. So yeah, that's kind of how I see that it's kind of a potluck. Close your eyes, hope you find someone good that you blend with, and then that's kind of that. And then obviously for me, I think if I talk about the main apps that I was using, it was mainly things like Tinder, Bumble, Hinge. Obviously you got Tammy, which is a more kind of LGBT friendly kind of app. And then obviously there was Grindr, which is pretty much like a gay guy app, or anyone that identifies as male or interested in male people or whatever. But that was kind of more of a just quickly meet someone and a go kind of thing. So I actually don't use any of those apps anymore. But like I said, in terms of the reasons why I don't use the apps, like I said, that was my number one. But I think firstly, like I kind of hinted at before, seeing someone live or seeing someone kind of unedited, where they can't, put on a filter, or they can't, hide behind a screen, you can genuinely have those conversations with people in real life. And I think that's the thing for me as well. Like, I am a confident person, and I know that, I'll sometimes have my good days and I'll sometimes have my bad days. I'll sometimes look great and I'll sometimes have spots all over my face. But I know that behind a screen, I can hide behind a filter. I can hide behind, a persona. And if I'm not in a good mood and someone's chatting to me, I can send laughing faces when I'm actually not laughing. And in real life, you obviously can't edit yourself. You are just as you are, and people will see your kind of every move. So I think for me, the whole seeing people in real life is so much better, because yeah, you can't filter yourself, you can't edit yourself, and you genuinely can find people who will either just get your vibe or just not. So I mean, a couple of good experiences I've had, I'm obviously not going to name names, but there was one Spanish guy that I went on a date with a couple of months ago now. I think it was kind of towards the end of 2023, and we were chatting really well, like we got on really well, and he took me somewhere in London to go for food, so that was fine, just split the bill half-half. I think I actually included that in my summary of last year as well, and it was really nice. It flowed really well, but he, from what he was saying, kind of just sounded like he was busy all the time, which is not a bad thing. And I just kind of was like, oh, okay, he's a nice guy, but I'm not really getting anything back. So again, I had to kind of just, well, we both kind of cut that off like very quickly. Like I came back home, said it was lovely to meet you, and then I just quickly didn't hear from him. So I just messaged back and said, I think we're either better off as friends or we should just go our separate ways, and separate ways is what we did. So yeah, nice guy, but just not for me. And then I guess another kind of weird experience. It wasn't not a bad experience, but again, I wasn't really interested. The guy looked so much better in pictures than in real life. So again, obviously I'm not going to disclose his name because he'll probably end up being like, oh, a bit offended. But yeah, met him, he looked a bit different, longer hair, less facial hair, he just kind of looked a bit different. And then yeah, we went for a drink, had a chat, la la la, and again, really, really interesting guy, really, really, you know, different character from that other Spanish guy. But again, it was kind of, I don't know, he just didn't seem like he was on my wavelength. So again, it was just someone that I was just like, yeah, it was nice to meet you. I'll let you know if there's a potential for a date too. And then a couple of weeks later, he messaged me saying, well, what is it, like, thing? How are you feeling, kind of thing? And I just said, I'm really sorry, I'm just not really feeling it, and I'm not really looking for to date at the moment, or to, you know, look for a boyfriend or whatever. So I think he kind of just was a bit like, oh, well, why were you on all these dating apps then? Or why are you on dating apps if you're not looking to date? And I just said, I don't know, I was just looking to network, meet new people, and then it just kind of happened that there was an opportunity to go on a date. So that's also one of the main reasons that I don't actually have those apps anymore. Like, I don't physically have time to date. I don't really, you know, I don't want to put energy into something like that where I know it's not going to be reciprocated back. It might be if the right person comes along, but I seem to go for the ones that are not interested back, or that don't show interest back, or, you know, they maybe think I'm a little bit too confident, or a little bit too forward, or a little bit too open-minded, whereas they just want someone who's just gonna, you know, sit back, relax, and just chat very unoccasionally. So yeah, I think that's kind of, you know, my, I guess, best and worst dates. Like, I've had great dates that, you know, they last a couple of months, like we chat regularly, they were coming to see me, we were going out for dinner, traveling around, da da da. And then the worst ones is kind of, they're not actually bad people, they're lovely people, we're just, well, not a match. So yeah, I think that kind of just refers back to my first point of, you don't get to know anyone properly if you're just looking at them through a photo, or, you know, through text messages and emojis. When you actually get to meet someone, you kind of build that character of their persona, and also you get to hear how they talk, which is obviously quite interesting, because yeah, I like hearing people talk, because then it kind of, it adds to the excitement of meeting someone new. Again, I've just written down here, only wants one thing. So again, being in the kind of, you know, LGBT world, you kind of get people who literally just want to go on these apps just to have a bit of fun. And I'm not going to obviously go into details of things like that. I think that's quite self-explanatory, but it is a dating app. It's not a kind of have fun and go kind of app. So there are a lot of people genuinely that are seriously on these apps looking for love, and absolutely, you know, if they find it, that's great. If not, we'll keep searching, or, you know, find a different method. But for those people that are on there purely just for fun, that's kind of also what deterred me from the app. Because yeah, I'd match with 10 people in a week, 3 of the conversations would be really, really good, and then it gets to a point of like, oh, when do you want to meet for da-da-da, and I'd be like, oh, we're not going to like go on a date or go for a coffee or whatever. And then out of the rest of the conversations, some of them would die out, some of them would just unmatch, because I'd say hi and then they'd like disappear, or they'd say hi to me and then I'd unmatch them and be like, oh, actually I didn't mean to match them. So yeah, I think that's also quite an interesting thing about these kind of apps. I think it happens in the heterosexual world as well, but majority with like LGBT, like dating and dating apps and things like that, and from experiences I've heard from friends that are also in the community, it's kind of one of those things that they will just see you as an object, and they kind of just want to use you for a little bit and then move on to someone else. So yeah, that was another reason why I have discontinued with the apps. Another one I've put here is bad communication. So I think I can also put my hands up and say, you know, I'm not the best texter, I'm not the best replier. I sometimes do leave people on read or unread, just purely because I don't want to seem like I'm a bit too forward or a little bit too interested, or give the wrong idea that, you know, that genuinely something's going to happen. So literally there's messages on my phone now that people have messaged me, like boys have messaged, or, you know, friends have messaged, or, you know, things like that. And I'm just like, I'll get back to you in my own time, but I'm not going to just be boom, 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 sending messages out to everyone. It's a bit stressful having to, you know, be in a different mode. Like, this is my sports mode, this is my content mode, this is my, you know, guy mode. So yeah, obviously I still manage to talk to guys online. I think a lot of the people I talk to now are through Instagram, like content creators and things like that. But yeah, like I said, there's not anything that I'm putting effort into. It's kind of just like, I'll go on there, see if I have any messages, have a little bit of a chat, come off, and then I actually don't get notified when I get messages. I have to be on Instagram, for example, to see messages and tags and things like that as well. So yeah, in terms of bad communication, like I said, I can put my hands up and say I'm not the best, but also with these kind of apps, you've got to think you are not the only person this person has matched. So if they're being slow with you, it just means they're actively talking to somebody else, or they're doing something else, or maybe they have their notifications off. So it is just generally a thing that, you know, if you're on a dating app, you're not going to have great chat unless you both happen to be online at the same time, or, you know, you both have a free moment at the same time, or you just decide, let's go on WhatsApp and let's just have a face chat, or a, you know, a voice call or something like that. So yeah, bad communication. It's bad enough when someone can't communicate in real life. So online, if they can't communicate, how's that gonna then translate into a real life conversation? And yeah, if it's already bad, it's probably only gonna get worse. Again, I've just put here, good chat equals unmatch. So sometimes I feel like I have a really good chat with someone, we seem to get along really, really well. Obviously with these kind of things, I don't share personal information. It's literally just like my name, my age, my height, and, you know, interests, hobbies. And then I kind of just say I live in the UK, and then just leave it as that. But yeah, we get into like bits and pieces of, you know, what are you interested in? What foods do you like? Where do you like to go to eat? What do you do during your spare time? Things like that. And then all of a sudden, either I'll get bored and unmatch them, or for some reason I'll then go back on because I'll remember, okay, I had 8 matches and I've got 4 conversations at once, and then I'll see someone disappear and be like, oh, okay, so I basically spent all of that time chatting to this person to get to know them for them to just disappear. So it's another one of those things of, yeah, that's why I don't give too much away on these apps, because sometimes like that, for example, it can just disappear and you almost end up back at square one with somebody else, and it's probably going to happen again. So then you don't share as much, so then the conversation's even longer, and then actually you get bored because they're replying slow to your slow replies, but it's kind of your fault for being slow in the first place. So that's kind of how that little thing works, is if someone shuts you down or removes you, you're then not as open with the next person, which makes that conversation to get to know someone even longer. I've also put here, my type doesn't match me back. So again, I think it's that thing of, you know, for example, if you're on Tinder and you're there swiping, there's a lot of people that I swipe to the left that are just not my type. Like when I see someone's face, I just know straight away, yes, you're my type, no, you're not. Like I go for masculine, I go for like European looking guys, dark features, so like brown hair, black hair, things like that. I don't really go for guys that have blonde hair or red hair. It's just kind of a preference for me. But, you know, sometimes you do get lucky and you find a really dark blonde guy with blue eyes who I'm like, actually, you're, you know, my kind of thing. So yeah, it's just that, yeah, I think it's that thing of, I see someone so good looking, sometimes they're not real, but majority of the time they probably are, and I swipe right and I'm like, please match, and then it's just nothing, and then I never hear from them because obviously they've swiped left on me, or I've never popped up on their screen. So yeah, and then obviously when I do look through my matches, I kind of go, hang on, when did I match with this guy? Or hang on, when did I swipe on him? Like, was I drunk? So yeah, it's just kind of one of those things. But again, that's another reason why I don't use apps, that, you know, there's too many good looking guys on there. Again, half of them are probably bots, they're not real. Some of them probably have a specific type, which is probably the feminine type. Most manly guys prefer feminine guys, or that's usually, you need to have at least one dominant person in that relationship. Whereas if I'm also looking a bit masculine and I sound masculine, which obviously I don't know how I sound, but they're not going to want someone that's like them. Whereas that's actually exactly what I want. I would rather someone be a little bit older, a little bit more mature, masculine, and dark features. So if I would have to sell what I'm looking for in 4 kind of categories, that would be it. And then I kind of just put here love at first sight. So I think that's the expectation with dating apps as well, that, you know, when you go on these dating apps, you hope to see someone straight away and go, this is my type, this is my person, let's match, do whatever. And that has happened before. I have met a few people, not in real life, just matched and spoken to a couple of people where I'm like, oh my goodness, you are like literally what I'm looking for. And I think sometimes that scares people away, because they're like, okay, well, if you didn't have me, what would you do? Like, you'd just be single forever. And also sometimes it doesn't get reciprocated back, because sometimes they go, okay, well, you're not really my type, but like, I'll let you down, like, lightly, kind of thing. So I have had that before, where I've had people go, you're a really nice guy, you've got great personality, but you don't look how I want you to look, or you're a bit bigger than I thought you would be, or you're a little bit taller, or a little bit smaller, or I don't know, the gap in your teeth, for example, or the way that you know, say certain words. So I think everyone's going to have a pro and a con within themselves that someone else is not going to like. But as long as you kind of make yourself the best person you can make yourself, then that's kind of all you can do. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else other than those kind of things. So I guess, yeah, real life is better than the photos and videos. People only want one thing. Bad communication. Sometimes a good chat can still lead to being unmatched. My type doesn't match me back. And then obviously the expectation of love at first sight. I guess you've got the group photo issue. So one of my friends actually made a YouTube video about this, and I think she's actually now deleted it. But she basically made a video of guys who on dating apps will put up group photos as every single photo. And then you've kind of got to sit there and work out which guy it is you're actually talking to. So it's not really a problem, but it's kind of well, if you fancy the friend more than you fancy them, it's a bit of an issue. And I think sometimes if you scroll down or across or whichever app you're using, they eventually have a photo where it's just them on their own and you're like, oh, it's that one, as opposed to, oh yeah, he's fit. So yeah, and I think that's the thing. That's why when I was at uni and I let some of my friends go on my Tinder account, it was kind of just for a bit of fun. I wasn't looking for something. I was just kind of like to my mates, this is my criteria that I'm looking for, go and try and find me a man. And yeah, we did match quite a few people. I didn't end up meeting any of them in real life. I think some of the chats basically died straight away, and I wouldn't even be able to remember now what any of their names were or what any of the conversations were like, because that was like 5-6 years ago. That was back in like 2018, 2019. So it's almost 6-7 years ago now. So that's incredible, but also quite disappointing that I'm almost 30, on the way to 30 now. Thank you very much for reminding me. But yeah, I think that's probably it. I think that's kind of everything as to why dating apps are not for me. I think I'm just one of those people now that I had a phase with social media as well. I absolutely hated social media, where, you know, I deleted all my apps from my phone. I didn't delete the accounts, I just got rid of them all from my phone. I just said, you know what, I can't be using any of these. And now I've got to the point where I'm like, actually, I really, really like Instagram. I really, really like YouTube. So I'm going to use those as much as I can. And then obviously with Instagram as well, again, you still get good looking guys. You get people that, you know, they call it gay baiting or queer baiting or whatever. But for me, I now actually follow as many people as I can that are kind of my interest, because then it will probably bring up other similar people, similar accounts. So I think I follow over 4,000 people on Instagram, but like I said, my notifications are off, so I never get notified about someone going live or someone liking a post or things like that. And I also like all these posts to kind of inspire my own posts, and to kind of maybe be like, oh, this guy's really attractive. Okay, why is he attractive? What does he do that I don't do that I could maybe do? Or how does he style his hair? Or how does he wear this outfit? Or how is he confident? And things like that. And, you know, some of these guys will just share lots of content of themselves, so selfies or pictures on the beach or videos in their underwear or whatever. But some of them do show like 5 tips to be confident, 5 ways to be healthy, how I achieved X, Y, and Z in my life, and things like that. So they're quite interesting to watch. And like I said, it gives me content ideas for myself to kind of be like, oh, that's actually just sparked in a YouTube video idea. So yeah, I'm going to stop waffling here. But basically, if you do see any accounts of me on any social media, of any dating apps, it's not me. Like I said, I think it was just something that I kind of did to just bypass time. I think I used dating apps a lot during COVID and the lockdowns and things like that. And then also kind of moving to a new area, just seeing who's around. And obviously there's not many people around. But yeah, I'm absolutely happy being on my own. I'm obviously in a good place as of now. I'm kind of just transitioning in different ways. So yeah, I'm kind of on a bit of my own journey. But like I said, I have just turned 26. Things are going to be changing. Things are not going to stay the same forever. And, you know, it's just one of those things that I'm part of so many different projects and opportunities at the moment. I'm playing tennis pretty much every day of the week, or as much as I can do. I'm going out for dinners with friends, going out for dinner with family. Celebrating birthdays, doing barbecues, things like that, which a lot of those things I don't actually post online because it's just me living my life. And then obviously, of course, like I said, I am still talking to people, I am still dating, I am still, well, not necessarily dating, I'm still just networking, I guess is probably the best way to put it, that I'm seeing people online, just sliding into the DMs saying, hey, how are you, how's things? Or, you know, went to Bristol the other weekend, probably going to go to Pride later this year as well. So yeah, I think it's just that thing of, I'm not just going to be like I was before, just going out, snogging everyone, trying to get numbers of everyone. I've got business cards, so I can be a little bit bit more professional, hand those out, and then just getting conversations with people. Oh, so what do you do? What are you interested in? What brings you here? Like, you know, where are you from? Are you gay, bi? Like, what are you looking for? Relationship, friends, networking, and then kind of just, yeah, live life a little bit like that, a little bit more chilled. So yeah, that's kind of it from me. So if you did enjoy my review, don't forget to like, comment, chat, and subscribe. Let me know down below, do you use dating apps? Do you not use dating apps? If you do, why? And if you don't, why? And are there any things that I mentioned, or are there any things that I forgot to mention as to why you do or don't use social media and dating apps as well? So yeah, if you did enjoy my review, don't forget to like, comment, chat, and subscribe. And until my next review and until my next YouTube video, thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.